Welcome back to Try Before We Die, the whiskey review show where we don't know what we're drinking, but we'll tell you what you're thinking. I'm here with my pal.
The old switcheroo again, huh?
The old switcheroo again. However, I think this may have something to do with what day it is. So we're in the middle of March. Does that mean anything to you, Derek?
The Ides of March, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that actually makes a lot more sense to me, too, because it's your birthday. Happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you.
Right. This is Derek, one of our long-term crew members here and cameraman, and even farther back on the paintball team that Mal and I will talk about. You're getting old, Derek, because I've known you for a couple of decades plus. Not like me, though. Still 24. All right. So you've been on the show before.
Yep.
I love your shirt.
Yep.
It's great. And it tells the truth, I think, for many of us. So you know the deal here. There's no plan other than that we're going to drink some whiskey, and only this guy, Randy, knows what it is.
Yep.
Right. And we're into the well more than 500 bottles of unopened, unique whiskeys in this bar, all single malt Scotch that have not been tried on this show before. So why don't you hold Randy down for a couple of seconds? That's my birthday gift to you. And we'll find out tonight what bottle of Scotch whiskey single malt that we're going to open, try, and review. 132. It is super close by. So should I just have Derek get it, or should I go get it, or I'm going to go pick it out because Derek doesn't know where all the numbers are, but it's right behind Derek, bottle 132. All right behind Derek, like we said, and the shelf that begins at 101, and I think this was bottle 132. So luckily, these rows begin with 1 blank 1. So we have 101, 111, 121, 131 ends the Taliskers, and 132 begins the Glengoynes. So this is a Highland Single Malt Scotch whiskey. This is part of their Legacy series. This is Chapter 2. Comes in at 48% ABV. I'm not super familiar with the product range here. We have opened some Glengoyne on the show before, and they've come along well. We've done some cask strength 12-year-olds, and I believe we've also done a core release 12-year-old. So we'll find out a little bit about this Glengoyne. Looks like we have no age statement. Coming in at 48%, back at the bar with Derek for his birthday. Hey, Derek.
Hey, Colin.
Still your birthday.
Yep.
You know, the rest of the year, it's your unbirthday.
Yes.
So happy unbirthday to me and happy birthday to you. So Randy thought a good present for you would be this Glengoyne No Age Statement Legacy Series, The Legacy, Chapter 2. But let's get it open. Let's just see if that says anything interesting. As always, it comes up. Doesn't matter if it's still on the shelf or it's been discontinued for years. We open it. I love the cap and the tail. It's got just a lot of, I don't know, familiarity to me. Maybe I've opened a lot of bottles. This one has been here for probably a year and a half or thereabouts. Let's see. Hopefully we just have a nice cork. There it is. Broke free. Very nice. Ready, Derek?
Yep.
Says here, Glengoyne, 1833. So nice pop, but I just really wish everybody could know how little resistance there was to this cork coming out. It slid right out, but with that nice pop, it was almost like it was a perfect fit. There was no fight, but it still had good pop. All right, Derek, pull your lid. This is also something we may see less and less of. This is a full 750 bottle. We're seeing more and more single malts come in 700s, which is the European and really the rest of the world standard. They might call that in some circles shrinkflation.
There's a little
Yay.
The book does say that this bottle is a marriage between two distinct casks. First fill bourbon and refill sherry casks.
Interesting, because we do have a little bit of a darker color for a no age statement.
Mm-hmm.
And I did catch on the front label too, no color added. And I'll assume at this high ABV, non-chill filter too, but certainly no color added. So that probably brings us to this slightly darker, this second fill sherry, right? Because that first fill bourbon will not bring it this dark, especially in a no age statement, which doesn't mean there's not 15-year-old whiskey in here. It just means there's a high likelihood that we have perhaps some 6-year-old whiskey in here too, where they found the profile they were going for. All right. Well, thanks for checking that out, Derek. Let's talk a little bit about the color. Let's go a little deeper into the color of this Glengoyne, because we know it's natural.
That's a solid gold.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think we're on the medium dark gold border. Right. Yeah. So I hear, and maybe that's what you mean when you say solid gold, right? Yeah. Right. This is a medium dark gold boundary right here. It's really interesting because we know the casking now. So we know it's this bourbon and this second fill sherry. And of course, you've been to Scotland with me and the team before. And so, you know, when we were at Glenfarclas, right, how they'll use the barrel up to 4 times if it's approved, right, by the distillery manager, or has the wood been spent. And what we know and what we learned then and what we still know and knew is that the number of times it gets filled, that, you know, your profiles are affected, your flavor and your color that's imparted from the wood is affected. So the second fill isn't going to create as dark of a spirit as the first fill, right? Because we've seen some, we just think of the Aberlour or Abunad's, right? Just how dark that whiskey is, right? And so we're losing some of the color, but we're still getting some of the color. This is a good looking whiskey. Yeah, in the bottle. Yeah. So we're in this medium dark gold range. Yep. All right. Want to give it a, well, so did you give a spin? So can you see my legs?
Oh yeah.
Right. Oh. They're all over the place. And some individual drops too.
Yeah, you had stronger legs before. Now they're just individual dots now for the most part.
Yeah, they dropped away. It's very interesting. It's not a leggy feature I've seen too many times, where the legs are, and then between them all, it's like these raindrops, like if it's just misting on your windscreen.
Yeah. So I just splashed it around. I got a few legs going, but it's starting to become droplets at the top.
Right. Oh, I see it now. Right. That's a very interesting thing. Normally we just see runs of legs that either come quickly or sheet down and take their time. This has got legs, and then it just is, it's like the legs are breaking apart and some pieces are holding on.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a very interesting thought. I'll be curious about the mouthfeel on this whiskey. All right. Well, should we have a nose?
Yes.
All right. All right. I can pick up some of that sherry influence. But it's subtle. You know, it's between mild and moderate. It's a very subtle influence, but noticeable right away. So again, if we're on this border in color between medium and dark, and now we're on this border, on this sherry nosing right off the bat, right? Between, you know, it's just kind of present, right? See if we can pick up any of this bourbon influence. So we'll look for a different sweet, a vanilla sweet, something along those lines.
And once it starts to smell a little bit, the sherry disappears a little bit. You can just start to pick up a little of that vanilla flavor.
Okay. Right, as the whiskey breathes, right? And again, we cap our glasses to trap aromas so we can get punched at first, and then it continues to breathe, and then we can start to pick up the edges, not just the center. So I hear what you're saying, right? That as the sherry cloud has dispersed, and it was not a big dark cloud. Those bourbon aromas come up.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm not getting is evidence of 48% ABV.
No. It was strong that first nosing, but it's very soft now.
Yeah, it's come right down. It's come right down. I like this. I'm just noticing this on the bottle. How Glengoyne is etched into the back of this bottle. Do you see that?
Yep.
Not sure everybody will pick this up, maybe on our bottle spin for the end of the episode, but that is a very neat feature. Very neat, almost as if that could be the front of a bottle, right? Right. This may be a bottle, even if the label fails, that may be worth saving and removing all the label and turning it that way. Yeah. All right. So we've got bourbon on one side. On the second side, we've got sherry on the front side. I hear you about some of this vanilla, picking it up. I'm wondering if there's anything nutty going on in here too. Because we have a Highland malt, okay? So Highland malts traditionally would really have some of that nutty maltiness attached to it, some of the depth of the spirit.
Yep.
It's certainly not coming across as light and fragrant.
No.
Yep. We haven't mentioned a hayfield or flowers or heather or any of those things, and nothing maritime either.
Right.
Maybe something grainy going on. Do you see what I just did there? Is I just inhaled the aroma, right? Just to sort of try and trigger some other senses. I'm going to be really curious to learn about what this Legacy series is all about. But why don't we give this a try?
Okay.
Okay. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right. The Glengoyne No Age Statement, Chapter 2 in the Legacy series, 48% ABV. Spicy, right? Warm. I wish I could see. I'm having some sort of an experience right now. All right. So, and I'll see if I can describe it. It's reminding me of a different whiskey we've had. The sherry influence is adding this extra layer. I know I'm not being very clear right now. So we've got something malty, something nutty happening around the top, but there is a roasted fruit in here. And so I don't know if you're picking up on any of that. There's something syrupy, malty, and not the apple, not the pear, not the cherry. We're moving into and I think it's caused by the marriage of this sherry and this bourbon cask. We're moving into a peach, a roasted peach. I think it's really nice, Derek. So, as I feel like, are you what's happening for you?
I can't put it into words what exactly I feel like I do love this. This is a great glass. I've never been good at picking out the individual flavors themselves unless there is one overpowering flavor. This is just a good mix of flavors that I can't tell what's what.
Okay, so when I was looking over here going, because I can see the inox, okay? So it was reminding me of the 16-year-old inox, which is discontinued. And that particular glass of whiskey was pineapple, right? So there's something cookie going on here, and not like a Cookie Monster cookie, but like been cooked, been roasted. We've got some kind of fruit happening in here that's been cooked. Okay.
I can see that.
Right. Not that hard tree fruit.
Right.
Right. There's something. Oh, it's such an interesting marriage. And not that we haven't seen sherry and bourbon married before, but these guys have put it together in such a way. And again, it would be so wonderful to know, and we'll never find out, the percentages. Like the one time I can think of a percentage breakdown that's been given to the end user was the Lafroig white port and Madeira, where they did announce 75-25 split in the casking. Right here, I don't think we're going to find out like how much sherry versus how much bourbon, and then was there a breakdown in the bourbon, right? And always fun, and now and then we've been able to find out what bourbon cask is this, right? Is this Maker's Mark, right? Is this Heaven Hill, right? What is going on here? Where has this bourbon come from? All right. Anyway, well off topic. Why we could spend so much time learning about whiskey together. The Glengoyne, the Legacy series, no age statement. Some sort of a roasted fruit is occurring for me between the sherry and the bourbon. And it seems like you're not disagreeing.
Not at all.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So, Derek, we've got some sea salt chocolate, a couple of different cheeses, creamy and a sharp, and we've got some ginger, some dried ginger. What do you think's going to go here?
Thinking maybe the ginger.
All right, so this is what I'm thinking. I don't think you're off base. I think this whiskey's got a little bit of potency, a little bit of spice going on. So I think it can handle something a little stronger in terms of the accoutrement.
Yep.
Right. So I don't think we need to spend our time in a very subtle cheese. Right. And so I think the question you have to ask yourself is, do I want to support the spice or do I want to support the sweet? Right. And I think that's going to leave us with ginger or chocolate.
Yep.
Right. And so, of course, spice and sweet. So what do you think you want to support? And I'll do the opposite.
I'll try the ginger.
Okay. So Derek will support the spice. I will support the sweet. I'm curious about Derek's experience because my belief is that ginger is going to support the spice or be spicier than the support of the sweet that the chocolate brought. This is the more potent accoutrement today. So what happened for you?
Oh, yeah, that spike kicked up a whole lot.
Right, because that ginger is just so real by itself, right? Did the whiskey still come through as an experience?
Yeah. After the spike, it still went to what it tasted before.
Yep.
Just that spike at the beginning of the spice.
Right.
And then it mellowed back down.
Yep. Okay. Right. Which is what I thought. Right. So I probably will also have that experience. When I brought in this sea salt dark chocolate, it just went so well together. If there was any conflict here, it was with the spice, but the chocolate just melted into the whiskey. The spice may have stood aside and said, I'm not going to your party, but the rest of that whiskey went to this chocolate party, and it was really nice, right? All right, Glengoyne, I believe this to be the third we've opened on the show. I think 2 different 12-year-olds, one a cask strength, one not. I've been keeping my eye out for the other parts of this series. I think I have chapter 3, and I'm trying to find chapter 1. I might be wrong, but anyway, I know I don't have them all. So we'll see what we can get, but I think it's going to be worth seeking out the rest. Let's see what the crew has for us, Derek. Kind of like fishing. Here's to men. We don't kiss and tell. We kiss and exaggerate. You should have seen. All right. So, Derek, we got this Glengoyne. I'm loving this bottle, and I mean it. If that label failed, I might keep this bottle just for the engraving. But I really am enjoying this marriage of casks, and it would be great to know how much of each cask was in here.
Mm.
What do you got?
This was just an enjoyable glass. It does have that spice to it.
Yeah.
So it's not an all-around time.
Yep.
But
right. All right. So I hear what you say. So we'll leave it at this whiskey, and I think you'd agree, is later in the afternoon into the evening.
yes.
Yes. Cheers, buddy.
With a bearded man and a British guy,